Hello viewers, welcome to the second part of the proxy server. This is Assistant Professor Gursimran from PG Department of Computer Science and IT, Dwapa College, Jalandhar. In the previous session, we have discussed the introduction to the proxy server, working of the proxy server and the features of the proxy server. In today's session, we will be discussing the modes of the proxy server and the types of the proxy server. Let's start today's discussion with the modes of the proxy server. The proxy server works in two modes, non-transparent mode and transparent mode. In non-transparent mode, all the client must be aware of the existence of the proxy server. So it means you need to configure the settings of the proxy server on the client computer. Client computer means the computer available, a computer placed in the local area network. We can understand the working of the non-transparent mode of proxy server through a very simple diagram. Now let's assume that we have a local area network on the left hand side of the proxy server and the internet on the right hand side of the proxy server. So in non-transparent mode, every computer placed in the local area network should be aware of the existence of the proxy server. So it means we need to configure the settings of the proxy server in the computer of local area network. This is normally done in the web browser. You need to configure the IP address of the proxy server in the local area network settings of the client computer to make the computer aware of the existence of the proxy server. So in the case of non-transparent mode, because the client computer is aware of the proxy server, the client computer will not send the request directly to the internet. What the client computer will do, it will send the request to the proxy server. Then on the behalf of the client, the proxy server will go to the internet and will request the required resource. And after getting the reply, the page will be stored in the local memory of the proxy server and then it is returned to the client. So in simple words, every computer must be aware of the proxy server. And how can you make a computer aware of the proxy server? You just need to configure the IP address of the proxy server in the computer of local area, the network. Now let's discuss the second mode of the proxy server, that is called transparent mode. In transparent mode, the client computers or the computers in the local area network are not aware of the existence of the proxy server. So it means you don't have any extra configuration burden on the client computer. We can understand the working of the transparent mode through a very simple diagram. Now the scenario is same. I mean, on the left hand side of the proxy server you have the local area network, and on the right hand side of the proxy server you have the internet. Now in case of transparent mode, the client computer or the computer available in the local area network, they are not aware of the existence of the proxy server. So the client basically generates the request and it is not aware of the existence of the proxy server. So the client computer generates the request and it assumes that it has the direct connectivity with the internet. But this is not the case. When the client sends the request to the internet, what the proxy server do, it intercept the request of the client and acknowledge the client's request by using sync acknowledge packet. And after receiving the sync acknowledged packet, the computer from the local area network also sends the acknowledgement packet to the proxy server. Now the computer placed in the local area network assumes that he has established the communication with the server on the internet, but this is not the case. Actually it established the communication with the proxy server. Now on the behalf of the client, the proxy server perform the same steps with the server available on the internet. It sends the sync packet to the server. Then the server replies with the sync acknowledgement, and then the proxy server replies with the acknowledgement. The connection established. It sends the request from the it sends the request to the server available on the internet and store the response in its local memory, and then from its local memory it sent back the response to the computer placed in the local area network. So this is the working of the transparent mode of the proxy server. Now let's discuss the types of the proxy server. Now proxy servers can be of three types: web proxies, anonymizing proxies, and reverse proxies. Let's start with the first type of the proxy server, that is called web proxy. In web proxy, the proxy server basically behaves like a web server. It intercepts the request from the client, and on the behalf of the client it goes to the web server on the internet, and it saves the response in its local memory, and then the response is forwarded to the machine that originally sends the request. So let's mark these steps as 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now suppose next time the second computer request for the same resource that was requested by the computer number 1. Now it will send the request to the proxy server. Now instead of going to the internet again, the proxy server, because the resource is available in its local memory, the proxy server will reply to the client. Now what this will do, this will basically enhance your web services. So this type of proxy server which stores the web responses in its local memory is called web proxy. Now let's discuss the second type of the proxy server, that is known as the reverse proxy. In reverse proxy, the system is basically used to control the access from external network to the internal network. Now normally we use the proxy from controlling the request from the internal network to the external network. But in case of reverse proxy, we use the proxy server to give the controlled access from the to the user from the internet to your local area network. Now the third type of the proxy server is called anonymizing proxy. Now the anonymizing proxy is basically used to hide the identity of the user or the client machine. Now the client machine basically connect to the number of intermediate proxy servers, the chain of the proxy server. So instead of the making the direct connection between the client and the server, what the client does, it establishes the connection with the chain of proxies. So the request will be sent from one proxy to the second, second to the third, third to the fourth, like this. And then lastly, from n proxy server, the request will be received by the server, and the response from the server will again follow the same path. In this way, the identity of the client can be easily hide from the server. That basically enhances the security of the client. So that's it with the types of the proxy server. Thanks for watching. Stay connected. See you in the next session. Thank you so much.